All right, welcome back, boys and girls. Hopefully, you had a good Thanksgiving. We are starting with markups and markdowns. You should have your PowerPoint. If you don't, please ask for one. It's a new one. Now, this is still working on this target. So, after this lesson, we are done with target 5. In particular, again, we're still, how do I get a 3? I use proportional relationships to solve multi-step percent problems. Or I answer these level 3 questions. Now, this case, we have done simple interest. We have done tax. We have done gratuities, which is tips. We have done commissions and not really fees, but to me, that's kind of goes along with commission fees. You add on to it. Now, what we have not done is percent increase and markups. So these two are very similar. Okay, a markup, we're going to talk about what that is. And then we haven't done percent decrease or markdowns. And again, these two are very similar. And then we will also be doing percent error. So that's what we're going to cover. We're going to start with markups and markdowns. So right here, I have the definition of a product for more than what they bought it for, an increase in price. So they want to make a profit. All right. So in order to make that profit, this is usually what business owners do. They buy a product, and let's say they buy something for 50 cents. But they want to mark it up another 50 cents, so they're going to sell it for $1. So there's what the customer pays is $1. And half of that dollar goes to the cost of the chips or whatever it might be. And then the other half, the other 50% goes to their profit. And again, they need the profit in order to pay their employees, pay their rent of their building, pay for supplies, if they want to upgrade in their supplies or anything. They also need to pay like insurance, pay bills, stuff like that. That all helps come from that. So that's what a markup does. Now, a markdown is when it sells a product for less. So, more obviously is adding, less we're going to be subtracting than the original price, which is what they bought it for. So, a decrease in price. And this is more for the customer. This is where we actually see this a lot. And we actually just saw a whole bunch of it this past weekend. Black Friday, Small Business Saturday. Even today was Cyber Mondays. Okay. So a lot of them have like 75% off or 30% off, 25% off, or they say sale. Usually if they say sale, they've marked down something. Or like Walmart rollback prices to their markup. Now we talked about this 25% off or 75% off, 25% of the original price. These two actually mean the same thing. They mean the same thing. It will get me the same amount. But which one do you think they use more? Yeah, because it's marketing. It's a mind trick. We see 75% off and we think, oh, that's a better deal. When really, it's the same thing. All right, so that's one thing to pay attention to when they use off versus of. So we're going to do some practice. So these aren't color-coded for you. I'm going to see. But they are on your, or they're not on your paper. They're just RA boxed. So we have start by marking the text. Identify the part or the sale price, the whole, the original price, and then the percent. And we're still going to use the same proportion here. So that hasn't changed. So this first one is yellow. So that's going to $20. The cost of a shirt is our whole. The next box, 75% off. Well, I'm going to put off means to subtract. So I'm going to put a subtraction. And then, of course, this is our percent. And then the question is, what is our discount? So our third box is always going to come from the question. So discount is our part. So what's interesting is they're asking for the part that we, not the counted. So I'm going to set this up the same. So we know this is going to be 100. We have 75. And then 20. And we're looking for the part. 20 is our whole. So again, this is where I pull out my calculator. And I'm going to go, what two numbers am I going to multiply? Nice, yes. 75 times 20. And then I'm going to divide by, nice job, 100. So that gives me 15. So our part is $15. So my discount is $15, which kind of makes sense. 75% is a good amount. So how much do I actually pay? Well, if I discount $15, that means I don't pay. So if I could take then $20, how much it costs, minus my discount. So how much do I pay? $5. So that's where that 75% off comes from. All right, let's go over here to this next one. A skirt originally cost $28. Alicia pays $21 for the skirt during a sale. Well, that's how much she pays. So that's one's box. What's that one? That's my part. And that's, of course, during the sale. Now, what percent does Alicia save? So percent is also boxed. Obviously, that's our percent. But I want you to underline where it says save, because that's key. It's not what percent off. It's what percent does she save. So again, we're going to set up our proportion. We're going to go, of course, 100. We don't know our percent. We know our part. We know our whole. So again, I'm going to use my calculator. What two numbers am I multiplying this time? Nice, 21 times 100. And then what am I dividing that by? And again, it's the same thing. I can circle the two numbers that are diagonal, multiply them, then divide by 28. So that gives me 75%. So if this is how much she pays, $21, then it's 75% of the total. That doesn't tell me how much she saves. In other words, what does she not have to pay? So 100% minus 75, what is the percentage that she saves? She saves 25%. So that's what I was talking about earlier. 25% of a sale versus 25% off a sale. 75% off a sale, 75% of a sale. All right. So we're going to do a little bit more practice there. Hopefully you're getting that. Now on these two, we're going to solve this. This one you're going to do on your own. But we're going to solve this one two different ways. Kind of like what we mentioned before with that last one. So the first way, or one way, and again, you can choose which way you want to do. We're going to do subtract last. And this one, we're going to do subtract first. So one thing to note is that when it says 10% off, that gives us a clue that we are, of course, going to subtract an amount. So let's go ahead and box some things. I have this number. Is that your part, your whole, or your percent? The game, the $199.99 game console Amy purchased. So that's our whole, was on sale for 10% off. So this was on sale for 10% off. So off again means I'm going to subtract, and this is our percent. How much did she pay? So pay is our part. I want to know how much she paid. So I'm going to set this up. I know this is going to be 100. So where would the rest be? Excellent. So this would be 10. This would be 199.99. And this is our part. So again, using my calculator, all right, so I can either decide to do $19.99 or $20. All right, so I'm going to do $19.99. You could also do $20. Okay, based off of how you want to round. Now, I'm going to now subtract last. Oh, and if I subtract last, that's going to be my money. So now I'm going to take 199. So this is going to always be, when markup and marks down will be a two-step process. I'm going to subtract 19.99. Or if you did 20, that should be pretty close. 19.99. That gives me $180. All right. So if I did the $20, it would have been really close, $179.99. So pretty much the same thing. Now, let's do it the other way where we subtract first. When we subtract first, we're going to subtract the percent. So what we're going to do is going to do 100 minus, because we know we're always going to do 100% in our proportion, minus the problem 10. And again, we're just taking that and putting it right here. So that gives me 90%. So now I'm going to set up my proportion. So my number for my whole is the same. My 100 is the same. Now 90 is my percent, so 90 is going to go here. And this is my part. So now when I circle and calculate, I get 179.99, or some of you, again, that's pretty close to what we had here, right? 180, 179.99. So either way will get you the answer. It's up to you which way you want to do. Down here, you just need to choose one way with Dontrell, read the problem, and solve. But you choose which way. All right, we're going to look at these. And you notice with these are markups. So we have markups. That means a plus. This is only going to be one way. Markups, we're always going to add first. So we're going to add first, which means we're going to add the percent first. So we have 100, because again, it's always going to be 100, plus our percent here, which is 30. So it's 130% markup. $7.50 each. She purchases that. So that's going to be your whole. Your part is going to be how much she charged. So you notice when we do markup, the part is always going to be more expensive than the whole. Okay? So if we do this, we do 100, and then this will be 130. And you notice that that is more than 100, because again, it should match up. 100% of what she has to pay is $7.50. Now I have to find out the part that she's planning to charge. So again, I'm going to cross multiply and divide. And you should get $9.75. So she charges $9.75. I want you to try this one on your own. All right, and you guys got it. Get it checked, and you got a good start. Just be careful. I think this will be your part. You're looking for the whole.